In developing our applications, there are a number of security guidelines that we must consider. The main ones are described in the Open Web Application Security Project, OWASP. The OWASP Foundation, responsible for managing this project, is an open community that defines and provides information, in addition to tools for developing and verifying computer systems from a security perspective. Inside the OWASP, several projects coexist. One of the main ones, and most significant, is the OWASP Top 10, consisting of a document that deals with the most critical security risks in web and mobile applications. At one point in the project, it refers to broken authentication, pointing at the importance of having a good authentication factor. GeneXus offers a module called GeneXus Access Manager, GAM, to automatically solve authentication. In addition to this task, the GAM also allows for the solution of authorization problems, that is, restricting access to the different parts of the app, depending on the roles and permits of each user. The GAM also provides us with a variety of objects to manage all security problems related to a web or mobile device application. For example, objects to add users, assign roles, grant permits, and so on. The activation of security controls is done automatically through the configuration of the Enable Integrated Security property. This can be found in the Preferences window by selecting the active version of our KB. When we change the Enabled Integrated Security property to True, the components of the GeneXus Access Manager will be imported into our KB. Under the Root module, we'll find folders that contain several objects responsible for providing the GAM's functions. Once security has been enabled, we can select the security level by using the Integrated Security Level property, which we'll find at the level of the KB version or the level of each object. The default value for this property is authentication. Some options for the security level in our app are none, in the sense that no security mechanism applies; authentication, where the user only needs to be logged in for access; authorization, where, in addition to being logged in, the user needs the permits required for accessing each part of the app. Once we've applied security and the type of level that our app will use, we must do a rebuild all in our KB to create the database that the GAM will use. After we activate security, when we run our app, a login screen will be deployed both in the web part and in the smart devices part. Since we still have not configured any users, we can use a local user with the following credentials: user, admin, and password admin123. To access the Gam Management Console, we must access the Gam Home panel listed in the Developer menu. This panel is the main backend object in the Gam, where we may set up the users and the permits for our app. Let's see a small demo. In this example, we want users to be able to view our web application, and if they authenticate, to also view certain options depending on their role. Next, we'll apply the security module to our travel agency KB to implement this. To do so, first we click on the active version of the KB. In the Preferences window, we change the Enabled Integrated Security property to True. A screen will be displayed requesting permission to import components to manage the GAM module for our web application and for smart devices. It also gives us the possibility to choose the way to update these objects. This can be done either automatically or with confirmation, or to never update them. After selecting yes, the objects will be imported. We'll find them in the folders gam_examples and gam_library below the root module. At a general level, we'll change the security level to none so that any user can view our application. Then, in the version properties, we change the property Integrated Security Level to None. Later on, we can change the same property at object level. For example, in the attraction transaction, we change the Integrated Security Level to Authorization, so that only authorized users can access it. Remember that once the GAM is applied, the KB has to be rebuilt. This will prompt us to create the GAM database. When it's complete, we'll find a new data store specifically for the GAM. We run the GAM home panel, that is, the Gam Administration Console, to add users and give them permissions through their assigned roles. We enter with the default user admin and password admin123. Remember that we can change it later. So, we access the Administration Console. First, we add the Attraction Manager role that will have permissions to insert, update, or delete attractions. To do so, we click on the Add option. We enter the name and set the security policy. For now, we'll leave the default option and confirm. Next, we access our role and select permissions. In this screen, we select the travel agency application and the Add option. On the following screen, the permissions that can be applied to this object are displayed. We select Full Control because this role will be able to perform all these tasks. We click on Add Selected and save. With this, we've configured our role. Now we need to add a user to be assigned this role. To do so, we select the Users option and click on Add. The fields that have an asterisk are mandatory. We add user Dorian with an email address and a password. Set the security policy and confirm. We access the user Dorian that we've just created and we'll assign him his role. We'll add the role and indicate that he's an attraction manager, and we add it with Add Selected and go back. And as we can see, this role has a new user. We go back. Note that another role called User has been added. And this user has been assigned to the user Osmara. This role doesn't have the same permissions as Attraction Manager. Let's try our travel agency application. We make some changes to the application menu. For example, we add a button to perform user authentication. Now, only this option is displayed. Let's see the attractions. The following catalog shows the Eiffel Tower, the London Tower, and so on. Now we click on Sign In and authenticate with user Dorian. Remember that Dorian has the Attraction Manager role. Note that an option is displayed in the Access Manager menu. We access it and see that we can perform operations within Attraction. These operations can be insert, update, or delete because this user has full control. If we wanted to enter some options, such as airports, it would say that we're not authorized. We go back. Now we'll delete the Eiffel Tower attraction because it'll no longer be available in our catalog in our travel agency. We confirm. Next, we log out of user Dorian and log in with user Osmara. Remember that this user has the user role assigned. Let's take a look at the options displayed. We no longer have the Access Manager option, but now there are two options to review the flights and trips that the user has made. Now we'll see that the Eiffel Tower attraction that we deleted can't be found in the available catalog. In this way, we've implemented the requirements and confirmed that GeneXus allows managing the application authentication and authorization. So far, we've only used the authentication of local users, but we can use another type of authentication such as Facebook, Twitter, Google, or any external service. It should be noted that version 16 of GeneXus may perform the authentication with any provider using OAuth 2.0. OAuth is a standard for granting access to websites or applications from another website, though without granting any passwords. One advantage in OAuth 2.0 is that user identity is verified, and a token is issued for the app for granting access, thus making our app's authentication much more secure. To learn more about GeneXus Access Manager, visit the following wiki link.